What's up, guys? This is Tai Zen and Leon Fu, and we're excited to have with us here today Aaron. He is one of the most popular and prolific Nextcoin ambassadors on Bitcoin Talk and on all the Nextcoin forums. The next topic that I wanted to talk about is the next Alias system. Could you talk about what that is?
Sure. So a blockchain is just a way of arriving at a sort of distributed consensus, right?
Yes.
And that consensus can be about anything. It doesn't matter really what it is. And so we have an alias system, you know, sort of syntax for how you can put data into the blockchain, and then other people can look at those blocks and recognize the syntax and pull out the data relevant to sort of DNS routing and things like that from the alias system. But I mean, it could be anything you wanted to.
So instead of sending it, so the Bitcoin address is huge, it's long, it's confusing, you can never memorize it. So basically what the alias system in Next allows you to do is, instead of you sending some Next coins to me to a long string of numbers, I can replace it with just Tai Zen, and then you can just send directly to Tai Zen. Is that correct?
Yeah. The important point here, though, is you could do the exact same thing with Bitcoin, right?
Okay.
If you wanted to invent a syntax and say, this is how we're going to recognize that we're talking about a shorter pseudonym that's applied to the longer pseudonym, we'll make a shortening process, and then just kind of post it out there, and everyone understands that that's the syntax.
Yeah.
And then you just make a transaction, and in the script, in the transaction, you put that syntax in there, you put the shortened pseudonym and the longer pseudonym, and then whoever wants can look through the blockchain, aggregate that list, and then store it in a database somewhere on their computer, and then they could do it there too.
So is that what the next alias system is, or is that, or am I talking about something different?
Well, right. It's just a blockchain is just a way to arrive at consensus, and so we want consensus on, in this case, which sort of shortened bit of data, what that applies to, so that we can't have one person saying it means X and then another person saying that it means Y. Blockchain gives us consensus. We know it means X, does not mean Y, and then they can do that. So these are just features that are implemented by the developers. There's a lot of different things they could do like this. I guess the difference between this and arbitrary messaging is that there are plans to maybe eliminate older messages with things like block compression and things in the future in order. Whereas with an alias, if you put your transaction in as specified as dealing with an alias, that it's gonna be safeguarded and guaranteed to be there forever. Okay.
Okay. And how are these aliases created? Is it created inside the Next client or inside the Next NRS?
I've never made one myself, but
or do they plan on
video on YouTube? And I think people were just making little scripts that would submit the transaction, because it's just syntax for what sort of transaction is going to get accepted in the blockchain. And I imagine that whenever somebody produces a proper client, they're going to put that in there. That's the reason why they wouldn't. But no, you can't. I don't think you can do it right now with NRS.
Okay, okay. But I think that there are plans in the future so that the Next client will do that so that people can do that directly on their Next client.
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't.
Okay.
So what do you think the first application of this would be? Like, what do you think? Like, why did they put this feature in there, and what do you think is the first thing they're going to do with it?
Well, it's a really important idea, right? That's what DNS is the idea that we can take a shorter bit of data and apply it to a longer bit of data, so that people.
But would this be are they trying to replace DNS? Are they trying to say, hey, don't go to DNS, use the Next, that's your DNS, or what do you think?
It's going to be an alternate DNS, right? Because there's no way because all these companies have already got all of their domain names registered, and there's no way that we could copy that over. I mean, people are already grabbing Google.com and saying, no, it points over here, not to Google's servers. You know?
Sure. But what is that? What we're trying to do with this alias? Because I'm not sure, like, exactly. Would we use a new browser that could then, use this next DNS name or something like that? Is that something that could be?
I imagine you could probably do it with a browser plugin.
Yeah, with a browser plugin. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Anyway, so the first application for aliases is going to probably be shortening next addresses, so people can just send to. And I imagine that'll be built into the first major client release.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So you could send I could send Nextcoins to Tizen and not type in, this huge address. Okay.
Yeah, and your client's going to look through the blockchain, see is there a Tizen? Oh yeah, it's here, and it applies to this number.
Sure.
Okay, send it there.
Sure. That makes sense.
And I take it that the alias system, the way that it works is that it's on a first come, first served basis. So if I register Tizen, that means that neither you nor Leon can come in there and register that also. Is that correct?
Or if Leon registers it, there's no way you can get it.
Oh, okay.
Leon's getting ideas.
Okay, because the way that the internet works right now, if you register a domain name, then no one else can get it. However, if it's a bigger company, they can come and take it from you. Like if you were to register, like IBM.com, IBM can actually come in there and take that from you. The little guy.
You could take anything from anybody.
Yeah. So is that something that's possible in Next? Like if somebody has more money and more power than you, can they come and take that alias? For example, like if let's say that Jeb Bush was to run for president in America, and you went in there and you took the name Jeb Bush, the alias Jeb Bush, is it possible for him to come in there with his money, power, and politics and snatch that alias from you and keep it for himself?
He'd have to pay you, and you'd be the monopoly provider, so you'd have a lot of leverage there.
Okay. So basically, it's set. The next alias system is set to be so that it's neutral. It's on a first come, first serve. It doesn't matter how much Next coins you have or how much money you have. It's
I mean, he could probably get it from you, but not through the code or whatever. He could threaten you and say, I'll sick the government dogs on you. He'd get it from you, but
okay,
not what you're talking about.
Okay. Because, on the internet, if you have a domain name that belongs to a celebrity or somebody famous or something, they can actually sue you and just take it from you.
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems that's solved here, right? We're trying to get consensus, right? And that's clearly an issue of there not being consensus. Whoever took the domain name first believes it's his. A lot of people believe it's his, but apparently not the government. So, but we solved that by having concrete consensus with the blockchain.
Okay, so I can use my name, I can use my website name, I can use my business name in the next alias system. What else can you use on there? Can it be the name of a song?
Tie any smaller value to any longer value. It's completely arbitrary.
Okay, all right.
Or larger value to a smaller value. I guess you could do that too if you wanted.
Okay. And is this something that you have to renew, like a website domain name? Or is it something that you just register and pay for one time, and then that's it? And how much is the cost to register an alias in the next system?
So my understanding is that it's a one-time thing. I could be wrong about that, though. And it's a bidding process. So if you include in a block a transaction that says with one transaction fee, one next transaction fee saying I want this, and somebody else does gives two next, right? The author of the block could, in theory, give it to you, even though you only spent one, but we would expect that he probably wouldn't because he's self-interested.
Once you register an alias, then it's good forever, right? What happens if someone registers a name in the alias system and then they die or something, and then who has control of that? Can somebody come in and get that or use that?
What happens if you have bitcoins and you die?
Okay. Same thing that if you have cash buried in your backyard, nobody knows about it, and you die. Okay. You have a lot of articles out on the internet about Next, and then you have a lot of writing out there. Now, does someone have to contact you in order to use those articles, or they are welcome to use your articles and it's okay, and they just need to reference you, or what's the policy on that?
Information is nobody's property.
Okay. So you have no problems with people using your articles on their websites or their blogs or anything like that?
They can do anything other than change it and say that that's what I wrote.
Okay, so as long as they use it in your words...
or change the words and say that they changed the words.
Okay, as long as they're clear that they re-edit it and which portions they re-edit it. Okay.
As long as they don't say that I said something that I didn't say. Everything else is fine.
Okay, okay. I would also like to add to anyone watching this that I have included at the bottom of all these videos in this interview with Aaron here, and I'm grateful that he took the time to answer a lot of our questions here. I'm including his next address below. If you guys want to make donations for his efforts directly to him, be aware that the address below, and I will mark it very clearly that they belong to him, so you can donate directly to him, even though the videos are on my blog. And I guess if you have a Bitcoin address, you can include it down there too, and I'll post it down there too. Okay?
Sounds good. Hey, thanks for that.
Okay, Todd.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today, guys, and I hope that this video was able to help you understand more about Next. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks.